Tonight on News 5 Live, KHMH sends out an SOS as morgue overflows. Medical staff pushing the limits of their mental health. And just what is the contingency plan for the National Referral Hospital? Details of these stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
At Belize Diagnostic Center, we offer FDA-approved PCR testing for COVID-19. Get your results as quickly as 1 hour. Don't risk getting exposed to COVID-19 by going elsewhere. We take appointments, or we can come to your home or office using our concierge service with no additional fees. We have 10 locations countrywide. Call or WhatsApp us at 613-TEST. That is 613-8378 to schedule your test today.
Have you tried the Atlantic Insurance app yet? If not, you are literally missing out. When you request a renewal on your motor insurance policy through our AIC app, you automatically get an additional 10% off. When you use our app to request a renewal of your property insurance, you get a special discount. For new customers, the savings get even bigger. Request a quotation using our app, and upon acceptance of the business, you qualify for up to 30% on motor insurance. And of course, special discount applies for property insurance. Download and use our AIC mobile app today and save. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 5 Caribbean Media Awards for 2019 and 2020. Best Television News Item, Best Responsible Coverage of Children's Issues, Best Health Education Journalism, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with special mention by the jury in the Best Television News Item category.
As Belize continues to shield its people from the worst ravages of this pandemic, we must continue to keep our country safe by ensuring reliable supply chains for critical components for the fight ahead. Belize's oxygen supply is safe with 300% more oxygen supply in country than is necessary. However, Fabregas continues to make our oxygen supply chain even more robust and responsive to a potential worst-case scenario. Through supply arrangements established and secured by Fabregas, our country can receive critical life-saving oxygen from 5 regional neighbors in Mexico and Central America through marine and/or land transportation. So, in addition, Fabregas has secured additional reliable sources of life-saving oxygen using a diversity of transportation modes and countries of origin. Fabregas Belize Limited. We got your back.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, September 14th. I am Sabrina Daly. And while the KHMH continues to stare through its nightmarish realities, it is still without a permanent captain at the bow of the ship. For some time being, Timothy Segura is holding over as CEO. News 5 asked if he has been able to keep up with the heavy demands of the office.
What we're doing is we're making a public plea to the society at general with respect to assisting us to getting out their bodies as quick as possible from the morgue. The reason being, we originally had space for 21 bodies, but one of the units had stopped functioning about 2 weeks ago, and with the advent of COVID and the situation where we are going in excess of what we should have in our morgue.
So then if it was for 21, with that one down, for how many do you have capacity?
Right now the capacity is for 12.
And how are you, or when do you think the other unit will be able to be repaired?
Through the forensics department, they're telling us that before the end of this week, that unit should be prepared. However, with the rate of deaths that we're having, and it includes COVID and regular deaths, we will exceed that 21 in no time.
How much do you have in the morgue at this time? Are you over capacity?
Yes, we have 15, and we had to ask forensics department to take on 3 of bodies that we should be responsible for.
Sir, but what is causing this holdup? Is it lack of carrying through with the paperwork, or persons just simply not coming to pick up the bodies?
As a general Belizean society, we like to have this 3 to 5 to 6, 7 days wait for just planning, no? But we're asking that if they can cut that down to 2 days, 3 days, it will greatly assist us.
And so this is not a policy that was in place from the time we began dealing with the pandemic and started seeing deaths?
No, this is not something that has been in place. However, what has been in place is the fact that for COVID deaths, we want the bodies to get out of the morgue as quick as possible so that we decrease the risk of cross-contamination for staff and other persons coming to the morgue.
Do you believe that it could or it may potentially reach a place where the morgue will no longer be able to accept bodies, and that as soon as somebody dies, they may have to be taken directly to the cemetery?
No, I don't foresee that right now, but we will put things in place so that that doesn't happen.
If you have been following the COVID-19 numbers, you will know there were 19 COVID deaths over the last week. This is an astonishingly high number for all of us to process, even in the abstract. But imagine that you are one of the healthcare workers or even hospitalized patient watching these people dying despite the availability of life-saving vaccinations. Tonight, News 5 draws on some candid conversations with medical professionals appearing on Channel 5's Open Your Eyes and Get the Facts that reveal how the constant, round-the-clock treatment they have to render to patients is starting to take its toll.
Sometimes we have 4 people that are positive outside, and we have to then triage and sort these patients to see who will get to be seen first.
The overcrowding at the Carl Hirschner Memorial Hospital's COVID unit is becoming so worrisome for the hospital's medical staff that the thought that someday soon they will simply not have any more space to fit COVID patients is becoming all too real. Head nurse at the hospital's COVID ward, Casilda Bowman, says patients are showing up for treatment much more frequently now and with more complications than when the virus first swept through Belize.
Yesterday, we got about 7 admissions in a space of maybe 3-4 hours. So we are seeing a lot more people coming in, with more symptoms than we were seeing last year. Most of them are coming in with shortness of breath, and the shortness of breath is also accompanied by a low saturation. Last year, some months we were in numbers of like 26 admissions for the month.
Bowman says that the high volume of COVID cases at the hospital has become so dire sometimes patients have to cope with the trauma of seeing another patient die or even witnessing multiple deaths.
We have had patients where I can tell you have seen maybe 5 deaths within the time they're there, and so their anxiety level is extremely high. We have to figure out how can we help that person, all right? Sometimes our best fix is try to move the patient out and put the patient in a next room. Yeah. Then what we're doing then is putting the patient in an isolation room alone with his thoughts or her thoughts.
And fears.
So it's complex.
It is also complex for the medical and nursing staff who must also witness these people dying.
For me, it's a real emotional breakdown when I have to deal with these patients, do the best I can, and they still don't make it. Then I go home with all this emotion and frustration on my mind. It's really hard to deal with.
Once I had Dr. Cruz finishing a CPR and crying in a corner because she did everything possibly could have done to save the patient and still passed. The connection that it comes from having a patient 2 weeks is a lot. You understand? We see them, we talk to them, you know, we try to cheer them up, you know, the little we can do. And then when we see them go, it's extremely hard.
The situation is equally difficult for COVID patients who experience serious health issues, such as internist Dr. Atanasio Cobb, who got infected long before there was a vaccine as an option to fight the virus.
I'm hypertensive. Of course, I take my medications. I said, you don't know what is going to be the outcome. And that fear and that anxiety that begins to creep in you, that you still have lots of things to do, you still haven't done everything.
Life flashes in front of you.
Yeah, life flashes out in front of you. I said, you know, my children still need me.
Dr. Fernando Cuellar, who is an internist, chides many people, saying they have become numb to the reality, perhaps because we are looking at weekly numbers of deaths as mere statistics rather than otherwise healthy people who are dying horrible deaths. He has a sobering warning for people who are still being rebellious and refusing to follow the safety regulations.
But where one get dramatic is that when they lie down and lose the floor, okay, they beg for only oxygen, or they sit down in a house and dead. Okay, because we don't reach rock bottom yet.
Wow.
Our numbers have not peaked. Our numbers have not gone to the bottom and we got more to go. If we don't do what we're supposed to do as a Belizean community, which is a basic public health thing. Wear your mask properly, wash your hands, physical distance, not the crowd up, okay? If you see somebody in the aisle, you try to hold back, you do your part.
The virus has spread so extensively throughout the country now that there's only one assumption to make in protecting ourselves.
Think that anybody who you come in contact with now has COVID. It has come to the point now that you cannot assume that where you go, people are not infected. You have to begin to change the way we think that anybody who we encounter may be positive. And more so, the people who are not vaccinated.
Cobb is of the view that anti-vaxxers have no right to discourage others from taking the vaccine when they themselves have not sat at the bedside of COVID patients to see just how much they suffer before dying. Reporting for News 5, Marion Ali.
COVID-19 has impacted the mental health of many Belizeans who are struggling to survive economically and physically from the toll of the pandemic. But we sometimes forget about the healthcare professionals who have for the past 18 months been working around the clock to provide the much needed service needed during the pandemic. There is a level of trauma associated with the profession, especially for nurses who stand witness to the deaths associated with COVID-19 and are sometimes victims themselves of the virus. So we asked what level of support is provided for these frontline workers during these tough times.
She's going, she's dying, but we have to, do you understand the level of trauma that is occurring by just us watching that?
Do you get access to mental health services?
We're looking into that. You know, my Dr. Bradley, Dr. Cruz, we got together and we recognize that we need help. I'm not even going to lie to you. I can see emotional nurses. So how we handle stress, it's two ways.
Yeah.
We get very emotional or we get very aggressive. And these are all that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
All right. And so because I'm seeing this, of course, as a, you guys, I specialize in mental health, right? I did psychiatry.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I was able to recognize it very early. And so we came together to see how we can help these nurses because we need help.
A lot of times we make the assumption that because we are healthcare workers, we have a lot of access to different areas of support. We do have our mental health department. We do have our counselors that we can also access. But our health educators help to go into facilities, do a lot of health education with how to take care of yourself. We have nutritionists available at most of our facilities as well. We have Wellness Week coming up where the health educators are doing information about nutrition and about wellness. So basically there's no set program that we have persons going to at this point. Really and truly, we don't have a lot of time. Our day is taken up by the amount of persons that we're serving, but we do have that access and that ability to seek out help if needed.
There were 200 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 today, and the number of active cases has soared to 1,419. There is one new COVID-related death, bringing the total to 383. In this third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, Belize District is recording the most number of active cases, recording 113 cases today alone.
We do have a significant outbreak that's centered in the Belize City area. So that has caused us some issues. We've got to try to control the outbreak. That is really a lot of our priority, to try to control the spread and at the same time ensuring that people are getting vaccinated. So we have many sites available. We're also going back into businesses to do the second dose Astra. And this is very important. If you've gotten only one dose of Astra, you're not fully vaccinated. You need to get the 2 doses. All the data is based on 2 doses of Astra, 14 days after the second dose.
A call is made for anyone who is due their second dose to visit the nearest vaccination center in an effort to control the spread that's occurring in Belize City. Reports are that a 38-year-old San Pedrana who died in the waiting area at the San Pedro Polyclinic tested positive for COVID-19. Police say the woman visited the clinic on Monday complaining of abdominal pain, fever and chills, bloating and cough, which she told medical personnel she had for the past 3 days. She was given medication and advised to return the following day, but this morning, while in the waiting area, she became unresponsive and was taken to the emergency ward, where she was pronounced dead. Reports are that she had an untreated underlying condition. Coming up, teens turn out for their second jab and one Belize City high school introduces a raffle to incentivize even more students. Details when we come back.
Hello friends, this is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, "For troubles surround me, too many to count. My sins pile up so high, I can't see my way out. They outnumber the hairs on my head. I have lost all courage." David was a strong man, a man after God's own heart, but he faced problems God alone could solve. All of us have experienced that hopelessness and seen ourselves as victims instead of victors. I'm told that if you put a buzzard in a pen that is 6 feet by 8 feet and it is entirely open at the top, it will be an absolute prisoner. The reason is that a buzzard begins a flight from the ground with a run of 10 to 12 feet. Without space to run, it will not even attempt to fly, but will remain a prisoner in a small jail with no top. Likewise, the ordinary bat is a remarkable, nimble creature in the air, but it cannot take off from a level place. On a flat floor, it can only shuffle about helplessly until it reaches some slight elevation from which it can throw itself into the air. Finally, the bumblebee, if you dropped it into an open tumbler, will be there until it dies, unless it is taken out. It never sees the means of escape at the top, but persists in trying to find some way out through the sides near the bottom, until it destroys itself. We too often struggle with our problems without looking up. Remember, sorrow looks back, worry looks around, but faith looks up. Don't become like the buzzard, the bat, and the bumblebee.
Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Debari, Quartz, Shoppergas, Gadgets, and Cellular Plus. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
We all find ourselves reminiscing on life before COVID-19, roaming freely, embracing without concern, laughing and enjoying the splendors of life. My, how we miss those times. It's time to get vaccinated so we can all start doing the things we love with the people we love in the safest possible manner once again. Digi, Mayona Resorts, and the Ministry of Health encourages all Belizeans to get your first and second vaccine for chances to win tons of awesome prizes now through September 30th. Win free LTE data packages every week, cash prizes, and a free 1-year mobile postpaid plan each month courtesy of Digi. Plus a weekend family getaway at a Mayona Gold Standard Resort each month courtesy Mayona Resorts. Winners will be posted on Digi Facebook and Instagram and Ministry of Health's Facebook every Friday starting June 25th. Visit a vaccination center nearest you today. Get vaccinated and win. Visit livedigi.com for more details.
As Belize continues to battle through its third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, the recommendation is for as many persons to get vaccinated by any of the 4 available vaccines in country. Johnson & Johnson, Sinopharm, Oxford AstraZeneca, and the Pfizer. They have all been acquired by GOB, which is aiming for 70% of the population to be vaccinated. Today marks the second day for which children 12 years and older return to vaccination centers for their second dose of Pfizer vaccine. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
There were snaking lines at the St. John's College Gymnasium in Belize City as students, some in the company of their parents, came out to get their second jab of the Pfizer vaccine so that they can transition safely back into the classrooms come October.
Seeing as though the cases are rising and stakes are really high to catch COVID and the amount of deaths being announced, I think it's very important that we get vaccinated and stay safe.
Was there any hesitation on you guys' part to get vaccinated?
Yeah, a huge hesitation at first because, you know, there's a lot of uncertainty and things we don't know about the vaccine. But, you know, it's better to stay on the safe side and get vaccinated.
I feel like hesitation, yes, because we didn't really know anything about it. It wasn't very safe. Then there was rumors about it being the unholy thing. So then I had hesitation, but then I just got it.
I think we've been away from school for quite some time, and you know, it's a bit challenging to learn over like online. Yeah. So there's a lot of challenges, and I think face-to-face learning is best.
The vaccine is a crucial part when it comes to this pandemic because, you know, people are tired of being home, and it's just like, especially me, I can't pay attention in my classroom anymore. Like, I'm burnt out. The teacher is saying something and I'm drawing. I'm not paying attention to her at all. So I think it's crucial for me to get my vaccine so I can get back in class October 4th.
There are over 8,000 students ages 12 to 17 But there are thousands more within that age range in the Belize district that can also access vaccination centers to receive that additional layer of protection against the deadly virus, which has to date claimed over 380 lives. Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa says that over the past 2 days, the youth have been coming out to get their jabs.
Yesterday we started to give the second dose because it's 21 days since they had received their first shot of Pfizer. It was a great success, and so is today. We're very happy to see the amount of children coming out. And yesterday we also were able to do almost 300 first dose of Pfizer, so other kids are also coming out. So far we have had a very, very good turnout.
We were totally excited for the reopening of school. And so when the Ministry of Health and Wellness asked us to participate in the vaccine drive for Pfizer, we got our community together and they came out in full force on August 24th to be able to receive their first shot. And they came out in such a good number that we were totally blown away when our statistics revealed that we were at about 92% vaccinated. So today is our second shot. Our teachers are supporting it by the live sessions happening online. So we're being flexible with their attendance just to allow for the wait and any kind of side effects that happen today and tomorrow.
While there are a number of schools on the north side that have had large student turnout for vaccinations, there are many that have still not been vaccinated.
We have done approximately 5,000 of these kids, so we definitely need more children to come out, whether you're in school, whether you're out of school. Once you're between the ages of 12 and 17, you can come in to get the Pfizer vaccine. We also don't turn away anyone else outside of that age, so if you want to, you can also access the Pfizer vaccine here. We're also at Swift Hall, Matron Roberts, Ladyville Health Center, San Pedro, and Keecocker. And of course, countrywide, this rollout has occurred.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Today, one of the schools with the highest vaccination turnout, Belize High School, reached out to students from other schools, particularly those from Southside, urging them to come out and get vaccinated this week. Principal Jamie Usher says BHS students came up with a special initiative that will see 2 lucky winners walking away with something to help them get back to in-person school in October.
My students definitely appreciated the value of our statistics, but when the country news came out that the statistics were low, they came back to the drawing board and they said, "Miss, how can we help?" And so we totally appreciated that angle of their student perspective, that it's not just about our school. And so what we wanted to announce today is that we will be raffling 2 bicycles over at the Swift Hall Vaccine Center. Anybody who comes in will get a raffle ticket starting tomorrow. We'll get a free raffle ticket, and then next week, Friday the 24th of September, we will raffle these 2 bicycles for just as an incentive to getting the vaccine and to be able to come back to school for October.
The data issued today by the Ministry of Health and Wellness indicates that there are 39 hospitalizations and 10 critical COVID-19 patients in the intensive care unit. With Belize District recording the highest number of active cases, there is concern about the National Referral Hospital, which is already in emergency mode. Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa spoke to News 5 today about the contingency plan should the situation continue to spiral.
Carl Hushner has shifted a little bit than the last outbreak, where we saw that Orange Walk and Corozal were the districts that had the higher numbers, so their regional hospitals were full. Now Carl Hushner is serving for both our secondary and tertiary care, so we're seeing moderate cases and severe and critical cases at Carl Hushner because Belize District, that's our secondary and tertiary hospital. We are in discussion and we really work closely with the KHMH, Central Health Region. We provide a lot of the primary care services, the contact tracing, swabbing, looking after mild cases, visiting homes. We do a lot of that. And the KHMH then takes most of the admissions. So during the daytime, our facilities can also see patients and keep patients in observation for a few days. But we're also looking at other surge plans that are out, for instance, opening up other wards, looking at other regions and how they can assist as well for moderate cases, and so that Carl Hushner can focus on the critical cases.
And while the KHMH continues to stare through its nightmarish realities, it is still without a permanent captain at the bow of the ship. For the time being, Timothy Segura is holding over as CEO. News 5 asked if he has been able to keep up with the heavy demands of the office.
I don't think I should be the person to say that. I won't blow my own horn, but I've been trying to hold things together. That's all I could say about that. This hospital basically, it's the employees that is basically keeping this hospital functioning. Without them, no CEO can allow it to function.
After the break, find out how you can help the Manatee Man rescue injured manatees. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Buenos días. 2 boletos para Quicacas, por favor. Ida y vuelta. 54. Ese dinero es falso.
¿Falso? Sí, este billete es falso.
¿Y por qué es falso?
Porque un verdadero billete de $50 tiene una marca de agua en la forma de un jaguar con la marca de agua y electrotipia de denominación y un hilo de seguridad.
Conozca su dinero. Reconozca el billete falso al verlo. No se confíe en solo una de las características de seguridad. Busque la claridad y calidad de la impresión. Las líneas y el color impresos deben ser nítidas y claras. Sienta la calidad del papel y de la impresión levantada. Ponga el billete a la luz y observe. El hilo de seguridad avantanillada debe formar una línea completa cuando se pone a la luz. La marca de agua y la electrotipia de denominación, el Jaguar, es la marca de agua en los billetes de $100 y $50. El gigante dormido es la marca de agua en los billetes de $20, $10, $5 y $2. El registro perfecto. Las partes del diseño impreso en la parte posterior deben caber exactamente dentro de las áreas sin imprimir en el frente del billete para formar el diseño completo. Revise los billetes de $100 para saber si está el holograma del tucán con la impresión sobrepuesta de la flor de vinca per vinca. Inclínelo para ver las imágenes pequeñas del tucán y el numeral 100. Revise los billetes de $50 para saber si está la imagen del pez ángel en color verde plateado. Mira más cerca. Utilice luz ultravioleta para ver los elementos fluorescentes. Utilice una lupa para ver las letras más pequeñas que leen Central Bank of Belize y el valor del billete. Detenga la circulación de los billetes beliceños falsos. Pasa todas las falsificaciones a la policía inmediatamente. Es una ofensa criminal guardar o utilizar falsificaciones. Esté a salvo, esté seguro, conozca su dinero.
When I hear that drum, 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 I get up off my seat when I hear that drum.
It's the 2021 Sir Barry's Bellikin Digital Bash, giving back through music. Starting on Thursday, September 16th, with a mashup by Denise Castillo, Kylon Ely, and J-Cass, backed up by the Center Stage Band. Then, the 2021 Bellikin DJ Champ, DJ Mamba, and to headline night one, Marilyn Vanson. Friday, September 17th, 2.0 on Saturday, September 18th. We're closing out the bash with a bang. Super Fura Band, followed by Evolution Sounds. And yes, he is back. The General Super G. Catch the action on our Belikin Facebook page, YouTube, and your favorite television station each night, starting at 8 p.m. It's the 2021 Sir Barry's Belikin Digital Bash, giving back through music.
When I hear that drum, I get up off my seat when I hear that drum.
Stay safe and submit your sickness benefit claim form electronically. Follow these 4 steps. Step 1. Obtain your medical certificate. At consultation, the doctor certifies your days of illness and provides you with a medical certificate. Step 2. Fill out your sickness benefit form. Complete all the fields in parts 1 to 4 on the front page of the sickness benefit form. Step 3. Request your salaries record form. Contact your employer for your salaries record form. Step 4. Submit your sickness benefit claim form. Scan or take a clear picture of the sickness benefit form, salaries record, and proof of bank account. Email the documents to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz within 14 days. You will receive an email reply confirming receipt of your claim. After the submission of all documents, your claim is processed for payment to your account. For any COVID-related illnesses, contact the Ministry of Health for further guidance. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
In 2019, 45 manatee deaths were recorded by the Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute. Then in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic reduced tourism activity, and the number of deaths went down to only 11. Since the start of this year, 9 deaths have already been recorded. The most recent was that of an adult male manatee in Gales Point on Monday. Manatee man Jamal Gavez has partnered up with the Belize City Council and the Ministry of Blue Economy to erect signs along the coast of the country so that residents can phone in when they spot an injured manatee at sea. We caught up with the various stakeholders as a sign was installed at the Civil Aviation and Blue Economy Park in Buttonwood Bay, Belize City.
What we're doing is basically spreading awareness, giving information, making ourselves available to the public. So when an incident does occur, the people know who to call and what to do in case of an incident, as sometimes the difference in our response time may be the difference in a dead manatee dolphin or whale or a live one. So it's very important that people are able to access us readily and easily. So the goal is to place these signs across the coast, from Belize to Toledo, up in north as well, specifically in the Belize City area, in places where we know people congregate along the coast, and in places where we've seen manatee incidents occur most predominantly.
Most recently, with some of the amendments that have been made to the Fisheries Act, now we have responsibility directly for the manatee, and it is our responsibility to ensure that, one, we raise awareness in terms of, the type of risky activities that sometimes take place that cause us to lose these precious mammals. We have seen the images very often on Facebook in terms of how they suffer because of irresponsible I want to say irresponsible persons out at the water with these skiffs driving, especially in areas where they know very well that the manatees are. And so we call on everyone to keep it in mind. We are happy to be doing this today. It's really another symbol for us of the collaboration that this park represents.
Belize City Council always assists this organization in any way they can. I think we are the ones who always render the backhoe, if I'm not mistaken, no? So we always support. So when Mr. Galvez called to install these signs, we were here still ready to do so, no?
While we were with the CEO in the Ministry of Blue Economy, Kennedy Carrillo, we asked her about the proposal by government to pay off the super bond, one component of which is the wildly discussed Blue Bond for Marine Conservation Program. CEO Carrillo says it is a win-win for the country.
Without a doubt, blue bonds is blue economy, and blue economy is blue bonds. We cannot speak about blue bonds and not speak about blue economy, because as we know, blue economy teaches us that we have a wonderful opportunity to take advantage of our marine spaces and resources, but in a manner that can have economic benefits for our country. This means that we have to do it responsibly and we have to do it sustainably. I always say that what we have out there in the blue is what we have to invest with, what we have to negotiate with. And so when we sit around the table, we're going to make sure that we're taking care of our investment. We're not going to squander it like any smart business person, any smart investor. We're going to make sure that we're building on it and not destroying it. And so obviously, the Blue Bond provides us with that opportunity. It's a win-win.
This week, the Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo May, said that Belizean agriculture is taking the lead in the national recovery. During an appearance on Open Your Eyes on Monday, he said that agriculture is a verb, something you do not just talk about. He says citrus production has been in trouble for years, but the COVID-19 pandemic resulted in heavy losses when workers, both migrant and local, could not harvest the crops, and infighting among stakeholders was threatening the entire industry's future. Minister May said sheer necessity has brought the citrus players to the table at a time when the industry was literally on the brink of collapse. He also addressed the concerns of sugarcane farmers and millers and how he, as a farmer himself from a cane farming family, is able to stay objective when looking at the development of the industry and seeing all sides of the issue.
You know that for 13 years there was infighting. There was 7 years infighting in the citrus industry. There was disease in the industry and nobody bothered. Nobody wanted to touch it. Oh, it's cancer. If you touch it, you can get worse. Well, somebody has to make the tough decisions. I will be honest with you, this year we had the worst crop in the history of the industry. 1.3 million boxes. We had hoped to be at 2.5 million boxes. It was not like that. It was 1.3 million boxes. For the citrus industry to keep alive, the processing plants have to be at least at 3 million boxes. It means that by October, if we don't do anything about it, the industry is dead. We proposed to Cabinet, and I will tell you that I had to form a working committee led by Hugh O'Brien to look specifically at the citrus industry and what we can do to try to extend the life. Because really and truly, the citrus industry is in the ICU. It is intubated. And if we didn't do anything about it, it would have been dead by October. I have to look at the numbers. You look carefully at the numbers. You make comparison with numbers, and you can clearly say, man, something is wrong here. Technology is at your fingertips. I can look every morning at the price of sugar on the market, on the world market, number 11 market. And I can tell you the price of sugar is going up right now. Before you can tell me, oh, I decided I'm selling at world price. And there's no way for me to verify that. Right? Molasses, there's only 2 buyers. 2 million buyers in the world. Santander sells molasses to the same company that BSI sells molasses to. As a matter of fact, the vessel fulls here in Big Creek and moves here and fills here. So I mean, if one company does not want to make public the numbers, the other one says, I'm prepared to show it. And if there's a big disparity, then there's reason for concern. It's simple. In my view, the problem is not so much the price of sugar, because you can verify that. It is the internal arrangement made for sugar, right? When you, and the farmers have a meeting with Santander, they're meeting with BSI, so they're comparing numbers, and you cannot blame the farmers for doing this. This is part of the research. As leaders of the association, they have to come to the membership and say, listen, we did this research, and this is what we found. Hence, we are saying that this can be improved.
You may have heard of an initiative where local farmers dedicate a portion of their crops to raise funds for outreach programs aimed at children across Belize. Well, now, Harvest for Kids is celebrating its 10th anniversary. The organization is the fundraising arm of the Belize Camping Experience. BCE was challenged to diversify its fundraising over the last 2 years due to severe weather conditions and the COVID-19 pandemic. On the occasion of the anniversary, the community of Spanish Lookout donated 41 acres of land for farming. We spoke to the director at BCE, Alexander Perez.
What I saw was a lot of hope, where our people said, you know what, we got to do this because we need to continue reaching our kids through Belize Camping Experience. And so what I saw, development of the last 4 months and just working towards it, where the crop got covered 100% from the seed, from the machinery, from the fertilizer, every details that you could tell. It was amazing to see, you know what I'm saying, 100 full got covered in that field. This morning, as I'm following up with there's a group of 4 farmers that are in the committee, and those farmers are the ones, you know, every other farmer comes under them no matter where they are from. And so there was 4 carts of corn, right? And they went to 4 different places to get dry, and the people that dry them, the different companies, didn't charge a single cent because it was for the kids. And guess what happened? Each one that dried, they bought the corn, and it's gone. The corn is gone, you know, so we're really looking forward to meet with them.
There is still hope for our country, that there are still hope for the children of Belize. Just this weekend we had a harvest in Spanish Lookout, and that was amazing. We took about 8 children from different parts of Belize City, and everybody had an opportunity to be in one of the combines. We had about 14 combines that were there, and you know, it was so amazing to see the kids being a part of that. Some of them have never been in those machines, you know, and to see their faces and to explain to them, you know, that all of this happens because there are people in our country who believe that there is hope still for our Belize.
News after the break, but first, here is a look at the latest. Here's an update on the weather from the Here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
Well, how do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it.
Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe. Be sure. Know your money.
Bringing people together has always been SMART's mission and passion. That is why we are proud to have built a locally independent quality network from the ground up that spans the country with over 100 sites. We continue to add more affordable mobile data packages, broadband speeds, and voice services to meet your personal and business needs. SMART has set the standard of true competition with the most competitive prices on all services offered. We invite and welcome you to join the SMART family, where the value for your dollar matters. SMART will continue bringing new technologies, more affordable prices, network expansions, and people together. SMART, bringing people together.
High school students, you could win a laptop on cash for you and your school with Belize Electricity Limited's High School Essay Competition. Explain in your own words my vision for the future of energy in Belize. Essay should be 600 to 800 words and submitted by email to essay@bel.com.bz by Thursday, September 30th, 2021. 12 prizes will be awarded to first, second, and third place winners in each form. First place wins a laptop and $2,000 plus $3,000 for your school. Second place wins a laptop and $1,000. Third place wins a laptop and $500. Follow BEL's Facebook page for more. Belize Electricity Limited's High School Essay Competition. My vision for the future of energy in Belize.
The hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? Get the essentials you need to stay safe this hurricane season, such as plywood, tarp and rope, first aid kit, rubber boots, raincoats and rain ponchos, generator, portable radio and batteries, flashlight and kerosene lanterns. Weather the storm with these products and more from Benny's. Quality and savings.
Earlier this month, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in light of recent news that a number of government offices have switched from BTL to SMART, wrote to Prime Minister John Briceño on the controversial issue. BCCI also raised the issue of the awarding of a Microsoft contract to SMART, an agreement that was initially struck between the government of Belize and Belize Telemedia Limited. The letter, dated September 2nd, included the fact that over 90% of BTL is owned by the government through shares that are also held by the Social Security Board and the Central Bank. Chamber President Marissa Longsworth urged GOB to make sure that the highest degree of transparency and sound procurement practices that are part of the Finance and Audit Reform Act are adhered to. In responding to the letter, PM Briceño categorically rejected the Chamber's assertion that government is diverting business away from BTL in favor of SMART. The Prime Minister reiterated that the Central Information Technology Office, CITO, went to great lengths to ensure that the tender process was fair and transparent. PM Briceño also said that overlooking other service providers under the Belize Telecommunications Act who are able to provide cheaper services than BTL is not creating a fair playing field. He says that what the Chamber has proposed is tantamount to creating a monopoly for BTL. On Monday, SpeedNet, the parent company of SMART, also responded to the Chamber's letter, expressing its disappointment with the position that the organization has taken. In its response, SpeedNet says, quote, "As a member in good standing, we have done our best to make a positive contribution to BCCI, the Belizean economy, and the community at large. However, the letter sent to the government evidences that our contribution is no longer valued by the BCCI. BCCI has chosen to publicly lobby for the interests of another member over our interests and to entirely ignore the potential harm to us as your member," unquote. We note that an application for leave to grant a judicial review has been filed on behalf of Senator Michael Perifete. Fisherman Adam Menjivar has been missing for 2 weeks now, and his loved ones fare the worse. Menjivar and Luis Carranza left from Honduras a couple weeks ago to return to Belize. However, when Menjivar's family lost communication with him, they grew concerned. A missing persons report was made to the police in both Belize and Honduras, and searches have been conducted with the help of the Belize Coast Guard. But the date both men have yet to be found. Rudy Jimenez is now appealing to the fishing community for any information they might have on her brother's whereabouts.
My brother was at sea. Well, he's a fisherman, so we got a call from my sister-in-law saying that he was out and he was supposed to be coming back from Honduras. I think the person because it's two of them that went missing, my brother and an ex-person, and they have a person in Honduras that they usually visit. The Friday of 3rd of September, we received a call from my sister-in-law saying that he has not gotten in communication with her, which is not like him. And we made a report up at Placentia Mango Creek area, and since then we've along with the Belize Coast Guard, we did several search, but we have not received any solid evidence that he got lost at sea or anything. Last week, about the 6th of September, up in Placentia, we received a false information that his body was recovered by the Coast Guard. But I went personally and did that search around Ranguana Key and Round Key down south where he was supposed to be. And up to today, we don't have any news from him of his whereabouts or where he could be.
If you or someone you know has any information that might aid in the search, please contact your nearest police station. Almost a month after a youth was shot while walking to a friend's house, he remains hospitalized. His family says his condition shows signs of promise, but they need your help. 15-year-old third-form student Kasman Gill was walking on Magazine Road on the afternoon of August 16th when another youth on a bike rode up to him and shot him in the back of the neck. The bullet left him paralyzed and in a critical condition. Today, his father, Cecil Gill, made another public appeal for financial support to help defray the cost of the mounting medical bills and the advanced treatment that his son will need when doctors are able to stabilize him enough for the flight abroad.
We have a big bill. We have other bills. The mother is not working. I'm not, fully employed and able to do what I used to do. And we look forward and prepare for the eventuality of taking him abroad. So it is a long road ahead of us. The last estimate that we had just to fly him on an air ambulance was about 35,000 US. So that's a lot of money. According to the doctor, they want to try and see if they could really reduce the sedation slowly so that they can give his lungs or give him a chance to try to breathe a little bit on his own. His oxygen level is holding up. He's doing better than last week, yes. It's still a very, very iffy situation, because he's not stabilized. He's not stable, right? And that's where we want to go. That's what we would like. His lungs is still not fully expanded, and there's still a slight infection because today he had a fever, which suggests that there is
Gill extends gratitude to the staff at the KHMH Intensive Care Unit, where his son remains hospitalized. Up next, come October 1st, you are going to be carrying around your vaccination cards. Find out how to protect these documents and keep your information secure when we return.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
at 40. Hopeful hearts, steady hands, together we rise. The entire SMART family wishes all Belizeans a safe and happy September celebrations. SMART, bringing people together.
The TV you love is always with you, from live TV, sports, and on-demand titles. Choose your plan today. Plans start as low as $15 per month. My TV, entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
October 1st has become a new deadline for people to think about. On that day, Belizeans will have to present proof they are vaccinated or a negative COVID test to enter all public access buildings. News 5's Isani Cayetano takes a look tonight at how some are making their vaccination cards smaller and more durable, and concerns about how easy they might be to fake.
The latest decision taken by the Briceño administration in the fight against COVID-19 is a mandate that requires the use of vaccination cards for persons entering various buildings that are considered to be public spaces. These include government offices as well as grocery stores. It's an obligation that comes into force on October 1st, along with a new statutory instrument. While the decision is being criticized in some corners, the business community is embracing the economic opportunity that has arisen.
When they started the vaccine campaign, we had noticed the big cards that they were giving, right? So we were laminating some of those for people, and we suggested, why don't you try, minimize it so it could be put in your wallet, in your purse, a lot easier.
The convenience of having a smaller vaccination card in one's possession has created significant demand for laminates. It's a 5-minute process that involves taking a color copy of the actual pass, shrinking it to a desired size, and covering it in a thin sheet of plastic.
We took it another step further, where we started putting a copy of the social on the back of the card. So you have the information from the vaccination on one side, and then the social on the other side, where if you're questioned about your vaccination, okay, this is my card, you flip it over to prove that it is your card.
Perhaps it's the most flagrant manifestation of the so-called new normal, having to present your vaccination status in order to gain access to places that did not before now require anyone to do so. But is the government reaching in compelling the public and private sectors to require this piece of information up front?
Obviously, the risk to public health, the health of the majority of people, has been assessed, and they think it's warranted. The lawfulness of any regulations proposed will turn on the reasonableness of those regulations and the proportionality of the decision. That is the proportion the regulations bear to the objectives they seek to accomplish. And so long as it's done in a reasonable and proportional way, the state has power in our constitution to make those kinds of regulations to protect public health.
At Stationery House, the lines of customers waiting for their cards to be laminated keep growing. Ahead of the looming deadline, business has been steady.
Since last week, we're getting, let's say, 100 to 150 people a day. Right? So because of that, October 1st, SI definitely has increased the foot traffic in here.
But as it stands, the oversized vaccination card lacks any security features. Unlike our paper currency, there is no watermark or seal to protect it from forgery.
We're not altering it in any way. We're just minimizing it. We're not changing any of the information on it. The serial number on the card is still legible. All the information is still legible. With the stamp from Ministry of Health, everything is still there. It's just we're adding a convenience where you could put it in your wallet.
Duplicating and altering the existing card, however, is as easy as scanning and importing the image into Adobe Photoshop, where it can then be modified accordingly. Fraudulent duplication has been a concern for the Ministry of Health and Wellness, but little has been done to make the card safe. Beyond the security of the document, Attorney Andrew Marshalek argues that the move to require a vaccine pass is a global direction.
So conceptually, that kind of conduct can be the subject of regulation. There's nothing conceptually wrong with it. The particular regulations, the extent to which it goes, and the reasonableness of it will determine in the end whether it passes the requisite constitutional standards or not. But the way I see things going, the whole world is moving in that direction. It's not unique to Belize.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
Amid the pandemic, the Bersenio administration has taken a series of steps that will culminate in the requirement of a vaccine pass at the end of the month. When the announcement was made last Thursday, it prompted numerous questions about whether the government was usurping the rights of ordinary citizens. Attorney Marshall says that style of governing is referred to as paternalism.
Paternalism is the policy or practice on the part of the people in positions of authority of restricting the freedom and responsibilities of those subordinate to them in the subordinate's supposed best interest. So basically, in the interest of helping you protect your own health, they're going to require that, impose certain regulations to require that you behave in a certain way. As I said at the outset, normally, as individuals, we can make those decisions for ourselves in our own best interest, and nobody has to force them upon us. But it's a matter of weighing the risks to society as a whole, presented by allowing individuals to make those choices privately, where the need for regulation comes in. If the risk to society as a whole grows beyond the tipping point where the private decisions of persons are putting a majority to unnecessary risk, then I can see that an argument can be made that it's reasonable to curtail that individual choice.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.